Good evening, everyone. My name is Patrick. This is my 5th video in my series, Building My First City. Thank you for joining me tonight. I will be giving you an update as well as kind of giving you some tips and tricks of the game that I have learned from my play. Let's get started. So, you're probably asking yourself, Patrick, what the heck happened to your city? What is going on? Well, this is actually not my first city. I have moved on to my second city. It has been slowly growing over the last few nights. I have kind of built this up while I have been streaming on Twitch, and I am going to give you guys a update. So, like I said before, every time you start a new city, you need to be aware of resources and wind direction. And this map actually was pretty good for coal and for ore. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a small metal city and just kind of get all of the materials out of this top portion that I can while I'm in the city. There is no oil. Water was sparse, and I've kind of played around with different places to plop my water pump, and I'm just settling with it over here. The wind is blowing this way, so I had to make a decision on where I wanted to put my sewage treatment plants. I elected to put it over here, which actually was a really bad idea, because if you'll notice, this is angled, okay? And when you pump waste uphill, it's very ineffective. You want to have your sewage treatment plants at the very bottom of any slope. Pumping shit uphill just does not work. Your sewer system will get backed up, and because of that, your citizens can become sick. Probably one of the leading causes of illness in this city. And when I started, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, so this is all zoned residential. And as the city is connected to my other city by rail, I plopped this passenger station, which helps my Sims commute between the two cities. So I have the rail connection, I have the road connection. I also have I could place a dock here so that I can get commuters going back and forth. But I think for right now, I have my hands full as far as my transportation setup is set up. Also, my first city provides garbage collection services as well as health, police, fire, and recycling services. And my other city will make the profit off of that. Finances are fine. I'm looking pretty good. I have a nice hourly profit, which isn't a real big concern for this city. I gifted it 500,000 to begin with, and already we're up to 719. So we're doing fine as far as money is concerned. And I'll get into that more as I start explaining how trading works. So with that said, I've already started my trade system in my other city, as we left off from the last video, but I was able to start my arcology. Ta-da! So arcology requires metal, alloy, and TVs. You can make metal and alloy out of any city that has a recycling center. I'm going to augment the metal and alloy with my metal city and send it to my Great Works. That way it'll help speed up production, because right now I'm using all my alloy to make processors and TVs. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to my first city. I need to rename these something more sensible. Panel point? Whatever. I don't know what that means. Alright, so here we go. I was able to plop the Department of Tourism in my last city. So that allows me to build the bigger parks and these culture structures. So right now I have the Empire State Building in this city. With the Empire State Building here, it will attract tourists. It will encourage land value. Local businesses will flip, as well as you make a profit. You'll make a profit from tourism as the tourists show up. Right now I'm at a loss, but it's because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's doable. After I plopped the Empire State Building, this whole section went nuts. So these are all hotels, and they don't have freight, and that's an issue that I'm working through right now. So they're kind of grumpy. Not without good reason, but I need to take care of that. So let's kind of take a look. I don't want to spend too much time here because it's not as important as to what's going on in the rest of the city. I do have my university down, and I've done almost all of my research projects that I want to do. I might research the Space Center. I haven't quite decided what I want my other great works to be in the city. I was able to plot my electronics headquarters and upgrade it to get the consumer electronics division, which allows me to make the televisions and computers. And while I was pushing electronics, I also built this trade headquarters because the two kind of go hand in hand. As you're making money off of electronics, you'll just make money off of trade. So it's a really good idea just to plop the trade headquarters in with your electronics headquarters. The trade headquarters, as soon as you plop it, it allows you to build the trade port. And I apologize for my last video. I was exhausted when I made it, and I kept getting the two confused: trade depot and trade port. Trade port, it's your best friend. I'm going to go through the differences between the two here in a little bit, but you store so much more at trade ports. It's really just a wonderful thing to have. The problem is that if you don't have any extensions or any wings, or you don't have any factories, it just plops with freight. Just one little freight depot that, or what do they call these? What are you? Warehouse. So it only plops with a freight warehouse. Since I started making TVs, I got the ability to have the TV storage lot and the computer storage lot. Let's real quick just take a look. It has all the same functionality as the trade depot does, except you get freight rail to move things in and out faster from the global market, and cargo ship dock. Same thing. Ship your commodities around to the global market faster, either importing or exporting. It works both ways. And this VTOL pad is something with Cities of Tomorrow. Just, gets things around. But we can take a look, and comparatively speaking, so this metal lot holds 100 tons of metal, whereas the trade depot, their metal lot, oops, wrong one, this one, only holds 20 tons of storage. So for about the same footprint of space, you get a much greater storage capacity. If you're importing, I would say that your trade depot is probably your better throttle for that, because you won't be importing as much. Whereas if you're storing or shipping using locally or exporting to global market, your trade port is really where you want to go. So with my recycling center, I have my plastic, I have 2 alloy, and I have a metal production. And it takes alloy and plastic in order to make processors. So alloy and plastic is being produced here and then delivered to my factories. I had a loss, so I had to start importing from the global market, just because I didn't have enough supply. I am exporting all my chips as an augment to my finance, because if you look at this, wow, Patrick, negative 12K, you're losing money hand over fist. Didn't you say that you need to keep these cities green? Yes, but as soon as you start getting into trade, you really don't care. And what makes the difference is your monthly income. And that's what you really need to start paying attention to. As long as your monthly income is in the green, you're really fine. It looks like last month, or I don't know, but I'm up to 500,000, and I've got 10,000 simoleons in the bank. My taxes are relatively low. I don't have any outstanding bonds. It's really my city specialization that's costing me the most, but it's where I'm making the profit. So the hand feeds itself. It's a cyclical thing. So here's my consumer electronics factory, and I'm currently making TVs to be sent to the Great Works. And TVs require processors, alloy, and plastic. The output is TV, and those TVs then are shipped to the Great Work, as designated by these arrows. As soon as I don't need to make as many processors, I'm going to start shipping more alloy. But again, the point of my second city is to, augment augment alloy and metal production from the city and kind of hurry the process along. So hopefully, probably not in the video tonight, but in the next video we'll be able to talk about the arcology more, and I'll be able to show you it's up and running. So trade is pretty well established in the city. I do have a good supply line, I feel. This is kind of cool. You know, you don't always get these neat little aha moments where things just fit like little Tetris squares. So I thought that was kind of neat. You want to look for these and keep them in mind when you're trying to optimize space and land. Because land becomes a hot issue late game, because I haven't even plopped my academy. That'll be next for the city, and then start doing my research projects. And actually, is that something I want to do right now? No, I like the music. Cities of Tomorrow music, the soundtrack is just fine. It's just I like the classic music better. But I think it's time. This is my education city, and I do need to get into Cities of Tomorrow. So the Academy is its own tab down here under the city specialization. Click on the Academy, and here it is. I'll put it right here. As soon as you plop anything from Cities of Tomorrow, immediately the roads get futurized. The music will start to switch over. It'll get more kind of the electronic feel, and you'll definitely start getting into more of the high wealth things. You can see things futurized already. It's, you know, much more sparkly, much more billboards and things like that. But let's take a look. I can't research anything because it's not open, but that's okay. We'll just be real. Just kick it up here. Kick it up to Llama. Lay Talks Limited. Extrudo Donut. Deep Focus Labs. Some of these are pretty funny. Oh, and I put a German high-speed rail station just to see if there was a difference, but there's no difference. Hostile Robotics. And the way that it was explained to me is the Academy is purely for, it doesn't have any students. People don't go to the Academy to learn, they go to the Academy to work. And it provides control net to the city, which buildings will need, and buildings from Cities of Tomorrow will need. It's their form of energy. You need to have control net in order to make them function and operate, as well as research projects. So we can go ahead and start a project. Most of these are actually really low cost comparatively to the university. So, you know, the further down you go, you're really getting good studies per each level. And to move on to the next level, or to get the next upgrade, is you just have to research one thing and then move on to the next thing. After you upgrade, you'll be able to plop a wing or an add-on. Actually, let's get something started here. So our options beginning are the maglev station, which is transportation. It's above ground. Works out really quite well. It's not a bad system. I gotta pull those buildings here. Let's see. Sewer sanitizer. It will treat sewage as well as create water. I am not sold on this as being a viable alternative to the sewer water system. Maybe you can put it away. Like, I'll put it over here to balance this one. This one's almost out. This is all out of capacity. So as soon as this one fills up, I am gonna be hurting for sewage, somewhere to send my sewage. But it's a different story. And the last one is the wind solar power amplifier. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because I do use solar in this city. I was planning on plopping a nuclear reactor, but it's just not necessary in this case. So we're going to get that going. The nice thing about the academy, or the bad thing about the academy, is the more high wealth workers you have, the faster your research will go. Okay, so if you have higher wealth people that work there, you just will run through your research projects really quickly. See, we're already at 20%. So it's actually, that was only a 4% increment. So that's nice. Let's see here. I plopped the ferry terminal. I wanted to help kind of get some tourists into the city. So about 400 a day, which is probably max, I'm not sure. It's kind of been at 400 for a while now. Tourists always also come in through buses and trains. Oh look, we've got a blimp. So blimps will come in and take a look at your attractions, if you have any. Just kind of circle around. They'll do this at sporting events and other culture things that you place. Actually, let's talk about that real fast. So come into the city specialization tab. Here's your culture, and this is where you build all of your landmarks. You can have up to 3. Empire State Building does count as 1, and each one has a different kind of added bonus, either aesthetically or they'll actually provide a service. So this wavy building is one of my favorite things to build. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but it actually holds 1,100 people. The Globe Theater, you can actually have plays, and people will show up, and you make money off of that. Empire State Building, obviously, I'm a big fan of, and some of these just don't do anything. It just, it's kind of nice to have. It's more aesthetically fitting into cities, and your St. Basil's Cathedral. But it's, some of these are just god awful huge. What else is in this tab? Here are your stadiums. You can have an Expo Center and a Pro Stadium. Expo Center is much smaller. Let's see if we can get it to plop anywhere. So snap right there. Whereas the Pro Stadium is ginormous, right? It's just this massive building. So I have had a couple cities that had the Expo Center, or excuse me, the Pro Stadium in there, but it's really hard to get a crowd. In my case, I can see how you would be able to have a whole bunch of tourists from your region getting to the attraction. It just wasn't my case in my testing, and I'm not completely sold on it just yet, but it's a nice thing to have. Expo Center, in my experience, works much easier and much better, but I've built them in regions where I've had a smaller 85%, 86, a smaller venue. So this will make you the more money if you can manage it. This will make you less money, but it's easier to manage. Here's the attractions. This is, I think these are all kind of a combination of DLC and things that EA has given us. So I do have the amusement park, and I am going to make a video on that because I think the amusement parks are completely fun. I will have an amusement park city somewhere in this region. To be honest, I'm kind of thinking it's going to be my metal city, because after I extract all the metal and ore, there's really not a whole lot more you can do in that city. It's kind of, it would be considered maxed out at that point. Let's see, what else? Back here, you get these neat little statues, Larry the Llama, and I'll put those across from like trains. So when you plop the rail station, it plops with this one road, and it's just kind of a dumb road. So nice little plop a little attraction right here, so that when people get off the train, they can see hey, look, it's Larry. It just increases tourism, to my knowledge. I don't think it does anything else. Yeah, people just come and visit, and because it counts as a park, it will attract homeless people. 150 an hour, that's not too bad. No research projects. So we finished, and let's go ahead and we just researched the wind solar panel. So let's do level 2 upgrade. You might be able to get that in the video tonight. because then we'll be able to build a control net facility, which will provide more control net than the academy. Well, it'll augment the control net. Waste reduction level is for your mega tower. Wave power plant is a very effective way of power generation if you can afford it, or if you have the control net to do it. Skybridge is how you connect your mega towers together. It's kind of fun. Fusion power plant is a really high-tech fusion. You have to have enough energy to turn it on, and then as soon as it gets going, it's pretty self-sufficient. The nuclear reactor level is just that. You put a nuclear reactor in your mega tower. And this is something that I've always kind of wanted to test out, is having like a services tower where it would be like, you know, power, and some other things. Maybe like power, Skybridge, power, I don't know, something. And then every mega tower has a crown. So you get 8 mega towers per city, and in each mega tower you get 8 levels, and then on top is a crown. So this is the Mark II air scrubber crown. It will collect pollution in the air and return it to the ground as water. Level 3, you get the garbage atomizer, which is basically like the regular fire in the dump, but it is a lot better. Never really applies to me because I just don't play that way. Garbage isn't anything that I've ever had a problem with. The advanced wave generator goes in line with the wave power plant. It just generates more power. And then the fusion reactor level, just like the nuclear, it provides fusion power. And then level 4 is the ground scrubber. This will help eliminate radiation as well as ground pollution. And advanced fusion reactor. And from what I've heard is the fusion power plant is okay on its own, and you really get the added benefit with the advanced fusion reactor, or from the snap-ins that come with it. I haven't quite got that far yet. You know, it's something. I just got Cities of Tomorrow. Well, I've had Cities of Tomorrow, I just haven't liked the mechanics very much until recently, so I've been dabbling around in it as I do my experimenting. Let's see here, so that's working. I'm gonna go ahead and plop the amplifier to my, well, let's wait till morning time. Crank this guy up. Tourists will also get around by airplane, so you'll see a lot of as you get more tourism, you'll see more requests for an airport. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just that airports are, like everything else, they take up space. So, you know, this is my education city, I need to be mindful of what I'm doing. Tourists are fine for the city, I'm just much more focused on education and building that, the archaeology. That building right here is kind of cool looking. It's fully futurized. And you can look at the academy and people are kind of wandering around. Academy is very high level, high wealth, so plopping it just right off the bat will make people happy. Yeah, see. Abandoned. Let's see here. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Supply chain is still going. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, gosh, I've completely forgot something in culture. Worship. So, you can build churches, and churches cost nothing. They make people happy. It gives Sims a place to go and pray. They're generally very highly recommended. There's a guy who watches my Twitch stream who will come in and ask me right away if I've built a church, and I'm usually disappointing him when I say no. And but they are a benefit to your city. They take up space, of course, but it gives Sims a place to go. and it holds 2 services, one in the morning and one at night. Okay, I just didn't want to forget that. Gambling. I've talked about that in the past. Pretty epic failures there on my part. Lots of different interesting casinos that you can build, and different ways to make money and lose money, much like real life gambling. Here's the MegaTowers, regular MegaTowers and Elite MegaTowers, and this is all under the City Specialization tab, by the way, just in case if anyone got lost in that process. Academy comes from here. This is where we build our control net facility, and OmegaCo. While approved, I didn't build it in the city, and I will try to find a good OmegaCo city in this region so I can make a video of it. And if not this region, I'll do it in another one, because when they came out with Cities Tomorrow, they released a couple maps where you really get to benefit from OmegaCo and production. Still trying to figure that out. Whenever I do it, I have the mistake of plopping a mega tower, and then the whole town kind of collapses around the mega tower, not being able to work with the rest of the rest of the region or rest of the city. How are we doing? Oh, 20%. Okay. Oh, it's daytime, so I'm gonna go ahead and. Oh shoot, it's almost nighttime. But I can show you, I'm going to plop this power amplifier, and we're at 5.6 megawatts excess. So we're going to plop it, and we're going to sit here and wait for a minute, because it's going to need control net. Yeah, see how the music switched? It's like, oh, you're playing Cities of Tomorrow. Let's go, future! If you plop anything near these old buildings, the old buildings will instantly flip to being futurized. So this little flashing red, I don't know, ninja star is the icon for control nets. And we can bring up the Academy window, and we can see control net coming out of the Academy. Like that. And it slowly provides control nets. Come on. There we go. And the thing flips on and ready for use. Let's go ahead and take a look at our energy now, and it's the exact same because it hasn't done the calculation yet. Calculate. And that's pretty much true for anything that you plop in Cities of Tomorrow. MegaTowers require control net. Oh gosh, 365. So there you go. What ratio that is? That's crazy output. So yeah, that's great. And you can come in, and I'll do it later, but just bulldoze the extra solar arrays that you don't need or want anymore. Yeah, so let's go, and I went through the towers, and let's check on how well the Great Works is looking. Alright, so it's about halfway on the TVs. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get started on my metal city. I was thinking about starting with coal because I don't really like coal all that much. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Darn. Ah, man, I need to go back to my other city real fast. I upgraded my trade headquarters twice, and when you do that, you get a plop add-ons that will allow you to upgrade your trade port. It'll allow additional things to go in there. So what I'm going to do, instead of building a metals headquarter, I'm just going to build this just right off the bat. Electronics. Your metals division will grant trade port, coal, raw ore, metal, and alloy storage modules. Yay. So yeah, these things take up a lot of space. A lot of space. The nice thing is that you only need to have one city per region that has a trade port, and you know, you can have 2 cities, you can move them around. I might, you know, take my trade port and move it to, or my trade headquarters and move it to my other city, just to open or make available the space here again. And same goes for the arcology. When the arcology is finished, you know, I won't be pushing television creation as much as I am right now. I'll still create TVs and the things that revolve around it, just so I can make money out of the city. But that's really just kind of the end goal. Because as soon as you start making TVs and computers on a decent supply chain, you just kind of kick back and let the good times roll. There's nothing really more that you can add or gain from it. I think I'm kind of maxed out on my university as well, but I'm gonna leave it up so that other students, as I develop my region, other students will be able to come here, come to the dorms, stay, learn something, and go home smarter. That is the theory. So we're gonna give it just a minute because we need the region to realize that the port, my trade headquarters has been expanded. So as soon as that's, the banner popped up, but skepticism is your friend, and regional play, while it does work, it does take time for the dots to get connected. I made 1.1 million revenue from electronic sales, so that's good. How's your research? Yeah, 30%. Sneaky robotics. Oh, snarky. Alright, let's go ahead. This wants my attention for something. I guess not. Let's head back to my other region, or my other city. Okay, so when I started considering making this a metal city, my first reaction was, oh wow, somebody researched the wind solar power amplifier. Isn't that amazing? I would not want anything from Cities of Tomorrow in the city right now. I would not be able to provide control net to it. So it is not something that I would consider right now. It's not an available option. Interesting. Maglevs do take control nets as well. Not very much, but certainly more than I'm willing to afford right now. So it's there when I'm ready, and I'll be ready later. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, excuse me. So I dropped the... I should have the trade port available to me now. Oh, darn it. That's why I wasn't finding it. No, trade. There we are. Well, I don't want to build it someplace where I'm going to tear up. Yeah, so... Try to find the point where we make the least impact, but we still have space to build it. So that doesn't look too bad. I think that's, yeah, that'd be a bridge. And that's not a bad idea. I normally avoid bridges, but in this case, it fits pretty well to what my goal is. Oh, actually, you know what? We can start sloping this guy down. And immediately I regret putting my solar power plant there. But that's okay. Oh, well, you know what? I don't think that's gonna be enough room. put it there. Well, it's fine. We can move it later. And I'm going to go ahead. Go away. Plopped with freight, of course, and we're going to bulldoze it and wait for everything else to get shared with us. Back to roads. I'm just going to go ahead and complete off this, this little bypass here. There we go. Alright, that looks pretty good. It also will function as a alternative route for the city. Make people's lives a little bit easier to get around. Gets us replaced. Yeah, okay. Oh, come on, game. Okay, gotta cheat and see if we can get the headquarters shared before we get frustrated and have to go back and check on it. And actually, also, while I'm here, I'm going to plop the, darn it, coal plants as well. So when you're deciding where to plop it, it kind of brings up your overlays for you, and I'm just going to do coal and ore at the same time. But definitely going to have worker shortages. And I could have... well, nah, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I could have done a better job building up my residential. It just needs time to grow, where I'm not allowing it the time that it wants. And let's add some shopping. Dezone that. We're gonna make that all shopping. That way they won't get pissed. We can't get any shopping. Oops. And some school bus stops. Yeah, right there. All these little kids can get to school. Be smart. And rats, not shared. Alright, fine. You win, game. And switching between the cities, we'll pause that city, so it's kind of good, it's kind of bad. I don't really necessarily like it. So we'll wait. But as this city runs, you do things, but the other cities are paused, so you really kind of have to jump between all your cities to, when you're playing regional by yourself, to really get the thing to work. When you first load up the game, it will touch all of your cities at the same time, so it does like a little instantaneous process, and then it's up to you to, as you play in your cities, to kind of flip back and forth and make sure that everything is getting updated and processed accordingly. It can be tricky, but it does work. They have no workers. I should just make a whole city. And you used to be able to. You just have a whole city that was completely residential. But they put a nix to that because they didn't think that that was a very good idea or fair way to play the game. Which, I'll buy. You know, all residential cities. It's basically the burbs. Nice futurized music. Oops, crazy amounts of solar power. And actually, you can just individually turn these things off if you don't need them. Turn it off. And that's generally a much safer way than bulldozing, because if you turn it off, you can always turn it back on. Whereas if you bulldoze it, it's gone forever, right? And you have the extra expense of having to replop it. Looks pretty good. Let's go back to non-functioning. People are crazy about technology. That's great. Yeah, everyone's... Let's take a look at trash real fast. So, we went from 5,000 trash cans a day to 1,000. Oh man, I have no workers at my recycling plant. That's terrible. Bunch of jerks. Get to work. Every time I bring that up, I lose my mouse. Oops. There we go. Oh, 0 unemployment. 11,000 available jobs. That was my cat. Alright. Okay, now let's go see if it's updated. Should have been enough time. I don't think worker shortages would affect it being shared. Okay, there it is. So now with the metal trade headquarters metal division, I can add on my nothing. Thought I could. Well, I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. Let's get this going. And this is actually going to be a very non-optimal supply line. Coming to trading, trade depot, plop it right there, and we're going to put ore and coal. Where's coal? Oh, right. Oh, way over here. Ore and coal. And before we're able to smelt anything, we have to... Oh, that's right. Coal is used for smelting alloy. That's what coal is used for. So it's not totally worthless. It's just mainly worthless. Build a road. Just try not to... Yeah, let's see. Put it over here. Oh, it's a bridge. Screw you guys. I'm serious. Okay, fine. You know what? You guys want to be little turds? There. I just want a good way for trucks to get to my trade depot. Because I think this is already full, right? No, I don't have any workers. No one has any workers. Well, this probably isn't going to work. I kind of wanted to play the city for a little bit and show you guys how to at least get trade established and going. As workers start filling in and taking these jobs, then your trade depot will start selling to the global market. As soon as you're making a certain amount of money, you'll get the smelting factory unlocked, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. And the smelting factory is where you make, you take your ore and your alloy, excuse me, your ore and your coal, and you turn it into alloy and metal. And that's money in the bank. And that'll help build the Great Works as well. but it is dependent on people moving in. And if you've watched my stream for a while, or excuse me, if you watch my YouTube channel series, you know I'm not big in flipping roads, and I am just going to wait this out, because eventually these people will all upgrade their homes, as it is discovered that they need jobs, or there is at least jobs available to fill. So with that being said, this is not much more fun to watch other than for me. There they go. See, they're starting. It looks like it's just worker shortage. They'll flip soon. Soon as in a couple of hours, not soon as in a couple of minutes. And I think this is a big reason of why people have a really difficult time with this game, is because they just go balls to the wall and grow as fast as they can, and that's not how you are successful at this game. You have to be patient. This is borderline overexpansion. I was just really trying to get it pushed while I had the opportunity to, and it didn't really work, but that's fine. I was trying to cheat, basically. But as these buildings develop, then workers will start getting up to the factories, and we'll start having jobs. So on your demands for your RCI, light green is a local demand, and dark green is a regional demand. Well, light and dark color for each. Residential being green, commercial being blue, industrial being yellow. It's really hard to differentiate between the two. I don't know how you would do it if you're colorblind. I'm not colorblind, and it's almost impossible to tell which is which, but I have very little mid-wealth and pretty high wealth, at least as far as my regional demand is, and high low wealth as well as regional demand. Regional demand is high everywhere, but for the city in particular, it's just low and high for different reasons. Kind of get these outlier buildings, which you know, you can tell core city Patrick versus forcing it to go Patrick. It's kind of night and day. Let's see, aww, you know, I like you too, buddy. Oh man, all these people, look at this. Wow, dude, you're awesome. This guy's awesome. Ah. Alright. I didn't zone this residential because this is going to be kind of a where I get my water. I might throw a couple different things out here. And actually, this is where I was thinking about putting my amusement park later down the road. So I'm going to leave this empty for right now until I have a use for it. And how are we looking? Alright, I think I might upgrade this as well. Going from the passenger train station to the larger train station. German high-speed rail, that's what it is. Again, if you do not have the expansion packs, I would recommend that you get them. They're pretty handy to have, and do add some nice functionality to the game. These things ever turn on? Nope. Coal mine did. I'll take that. Yeah, I gotta plop another trade port, because I really thought that it should come through. Say port, I meant, yeah, there it goes. Alright. Trade port. That's much better. My rail stops here, and it's always an option to extend it over this way, and then you can hook your trade port up to it. Also, we can actually just create rail anywhere we want to. and bring it closer to the trade port. Let's take a look here. I want raw ore, and I want coal. In addition to the extra storage, you get 6 units instead of 4, like you do with the trade depot. So lots of good things come out of the trade port. But as soon as that one kicks on, we're gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna turn this one off because I don't want. Yep, it all just needs to go to the trade port. Super. So is my. This is working too. Excellent. All right. So maybe we will get this in. Kind of realize we're running out of time, but if let's see if we can push it a little bit further. So double-clicking into the ore mine, we get 4 of these ore shafts, which will help increase our outputs. The darker colored areas are the heavier concentrations, so you'll be able to keep your shafts that are longer. That's what she said. And same thing for coal. So, doing there, that way, there, and right there. If you have the OmegaCo stuff started in any one of your cities, you get these augmented shafts, and they just tear up the ground. It's a thing of beauty, if you will. It's tear up the ground. High pollution with these mining operations. It's good and it's bad. The good part about it is if you do end up having to have water, it becomes a very good source of water with the filtration pumps. I guess you could put sewer up there as well. I'm going to keep everything local in my trade port, and then when it's time, I'm going to go ahead and turn on global deliveries, because the end goal with this is I need the smelting factory in order to smelt the ore and coal in order to make alloy to ship to the Great Works. And in order to get that, I need this wonderful metals headquarter. And I'm at 37 and I need 100. So a little ways to go. Let's see, kind of just forcing this along. Yeah, I thought it was sales to get the headquarters, but it's not. It's just getting it out of the ground is good enough. Which actually works even better in our favor because, man, where are we going to put that smelting factory? So the process is that as soon as you exhaust the ground, you kind of have to move all your production around. So I'll put my smelting factory like here, and it'll have a really good short route to get to the Great Works. The Great Works does have its own little traffic problem. Pretty frequently. It looks like it's open right now, so that's good. But it's not too unusual to watch your shipment sitting there waiting to go into the Great Works. Somebody's full. This guy's full. So if they're full, production will be stopped. So we just plop more trucks. Trucks. Well, I'm gonna do the same for coal. We're still positive, which I find kind of interesting and encouraging. Usually these kinds of operations are... Oh, there's my metal headquarters. Usually these operations are a little bit more expensive. Let's see if there's anywhere good to plop this thing. I'm going to put it down here. For a couple different reasons. And I can explain that later. Well, I'll explain right now. I'm not planning on keeping the metal headquarters here forever. This is very temporary. If I want to have one, I'll probably plop it in another city, because it doesn't take very much to get it started. And I've already got the port unlocked from my other city. So I'm not too interested in having this other than the fact that I get to have the smelting division. Let's open this up, and it's, oh, rats, I have to upgrade it first, of course. I can't just plop and walk like I would like to. Oh, I said closed by mayor. I was like, I didn't close it. I didn't even open it. Alright. Sewer's a problem. Okay, and that's legitimate. And I'm at 4, so I'm gonna go ahead and plop my sewage treatment plants. Yeah. There. Watch everyone get really unhappy. That's fine. And I'm not gonna bulldoze those until I get workers here, because if it takes me 10 minutes to find workers at my other plants, it's gonna take me a while to find workers for my sewage treatment plants. Oh, there they are. Oh, nope, there they go. And I realize it's not a very pleasing view. You know, I need this place to start. I might just build a water pump down here just to suck up the pollution. Shopping. You guys are gonna get sick. Sewage is kicked on. It's still showing yellow because these plants are overworked. We can go bulldoze those right now. Don't need ya, but appreciate what you did. And I thought this was a pretty good idea for a power plant, at least location-wise, and I'm having second thoughts about it. The other thing about these utilities is, or not utilities, but the specializations, they do take a lot of power and water just to keep them going. It looks like that's almost full. So what do we need to do? How do we upgrade? Okay, so we have to have 160,000 daily profit for an upgrade. So let's go ahead and get this started. Are you full? Almost. Let's wait for these to get, oh, full on coal. What time is it? 2 a.m. So this is actually a pretty good time to start our export because it's a daily calculation. And so if you start saving up at, say, 5 o'clock at night, or if you start selling at 5 o'clock at night, you're going to miss that cutoff. You've just wasted most of your day. You'll still get the income, of course, but the goal is to upgrade the headquarters, not to make money. Obviously, the next day that it kicks over, you will be in the benefit, but until that time... Wow, it's already full? It doesn't fill up that fast. Okay. But it's a net loss. You lose the chance to get the upgrade that much sooner. And I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it, but doggone it, let's give it a college try. I'm gonna put another ore and another coal. There's coal. Looks like we got some 6 sims. I have a lot of pollution in this city. I'm not really greatly worried about it just because they'll all go get treated. I am a little bit worried about this. So what I'm going to do, a good way to combat ground pollution is under parks. Come here to nature at the very end. Actually, these are the street trees, which are nice to have. I haven't done that in this region yet. But you can just plant a forest, and these trees will help suck up all that pollution. It's pretty cheap. I don't really even consider the money I spend. I think it's like $10 per click, and there's no such thing as a bad tree. How are we looking? No, okay, well, we're not gonna get it. Well, anyways, that's the general idea. You guys kind of get the concept of how to build a metal city. And we're kind of rushing it a little bit because obviously you won't have the trade port straight off the bat, but it at least gives you an idea of some of the things you should consider, some of the things to look out for. Definitely, if I had more workers, I think it would be a lot different. Bulldozer wrong house. Sorry, guys. Let's take a look real fast, because I'm pretty sure they're all, like, deplorable land value-wise. Yeah. So, that's why I'm not too worried about pollution, because land value in the city is just going to go to hell. It's going to be very hard to have high land value, just because of the nature of the city, at first. And that'll clear up as this region grows. So everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. Feel free to ask any questions or provide any feedback or comments in the comment section. Planning on making a couple videos every week, so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the series. Yeah, hope to see you guys again later this weekend. It's my weekend, so I'm very excited to get it started, and thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Let's all be mayor. Have a good night, everybody.